How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we've got some Pokemon riddles, rumors, everything to do with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming to us from Riddler Koo, who, if you do not know, Riddler Koo is an individual who last year actually leaked information about Pokemon Legends Arceus and, of course, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and he's back with new riddles. But, of course, let's get into it. So, here is the actual new updates on the riddles. He posted some recent things, like, for example, this saying, halftime break, guys. We are halfway right now. Still no correct answers. Any clue on what I'm gonna tell you? And this is him telling us that nobody's really 100% figured out what's going on with his riddles just yet. But before we get into any of that, guys, I have put out a tweet on my Twitter. If you guys want to go check it out, it's specifically me asking you guys to give me your personal things you want to see featured in Scarlet and Violet. And if you do leave your own reply here, which a bunch of people have, you will have a chance to be featured in tomorrow's video. So definitely do that if you want to have a chance to be in that. Either way, back to this though. So Soul Silver Art, who is a leak analyst, has put together some theories on what specifically Riddler Koo has been saying. And here's what he says. As I thought, there's more. I still don't know yet, but this is almost totally eliminates a Lugia form, unless all these are getting gimmick forms. Eliminates many theories, the C/Blue Legend thing. We need to find one thing these pictures have in common and apply them to the Scarlet Violet Legendaries. And here what we have, again, is another picture from Koo, this time showing, well, pretty much just like a finger from, like, another Legendary. Like, you have this image right here of a finger, and this one, too, of a claw of sorts. And let's continue to see what he says here, right? So, he's got this one from Groudon. So, here are all the ones from the images so far. So, here's what Blazing Cinder says. The partner seems to be white edges and is Palkia next. It also looks like no regional form box legends anymore. So, it's a bit confusing. But here's amazing work by Blaze. The biggest thing I can see is that these pictures have in common is they are all white pieces on their bodies. My current theory is that one of the Scarlet Violet mascots will be all white, fits the light spectrum, and is opposite to Necrozma. Also, all three are still related to the electric typing. Interesting, because I guess if you look at Lugia and Kyogre, I'm guessing both of those are super, like, you're super effective against them, whereas the other one with Groudon, you're not effective against it in a sense, right? Either way, Reshiram is all white though, but I mean Zekrom is already a Dragon Electric. Anyway, I also love these theories, especially the first one. If it's true, then maybe a small picture of Reshiram's Spike/Wing could be next. The idea of a countdown is a good, we have to wait for more. So yeah, here's what somebody says. Ozimo Sirius, I think the first two are for Violet's Legendary, and this one is for Scarlet's Legendary. Based on what you said for the blue game, I think he'll post another Legendary relating to the inspiration of Scarlet's Legendary, completing Groudon's hint. Which is true, he did post one just now recently, which is interesting. And then also here being said, all I can see is how they can control an aspect of nature. Sky Lugia, Land Groudon, and Sea Kyogre. That is a fair point as well. Either it's a hint to what the box legends of this new game could look like, for example, Spiky, which is fairly likely, or it's supposed to be some sort of countdown, and the less lines there are, the nearer the trailer comes. 4 lines, 3 lines, and now 2. Will there be one tomorrow? Ooh, spicy. I wonder. Well, we'll see, right? Either way, he says, added the Groudon theories above, but like Koo told me, there's a covert connection that can be found between all of these. As I mentioned above, seems that they have all shared white color, but I still think that we have to dive deeper. Probably another picture coming soon. Shout out, by the way, to Soul Silver for sharing this with me. He's one of the mad lads from the communities, one of our longtime viewers as well. It said, here's what he said. So, just waiting till the end. This is Riddler Koo. This is the leaker himself, okay? The man, the myth, the legend himself. Literally saying, just wait till the end. Or if you are smarter than the others, maybe you could find a covert connection. Even before I endgame these riddles. So, he's gonna literally give us a solution eventually. So, somebody did point out something interesting. See how they're only showing white. Pokemon White's mascot was Zekrom. And a lot of leaks and rumors mention maybe one Legendary being Dragon Electric, which coincidentally is Zekrom's type, which is interesting. So are we getting another one? Is that all this is? Is this all just kind of connecting back to that? Is that the point here? I'm wondering. I don't really know, but that's what basically this individual had to say here as a bit of a, you know, if you want to call it theory, speculation, etc. But that pretty much ends the speculation right there. We've pretty much gone through everything that Riddler Koo has said. I don't think he's got really much else to add. And also, an interesting point here, what that Soul Silver found is that he's convinced that Sword and Shield did hint to the Scarlet Violet gimmick being related to type mods in battle, as well as type being connected to the main themes in Scarlet Violet, the light spectrum, ultraviolet, and infrared opposites. That, yeah, you know, you got the ultraviolet on one end of the spectrum and infrared on the other side of the spectrum of the light spectrum, right? And if you look at those two, those are the matching colors for Scarlet and Violet, and it's literally in the name, you know, like, it's in the name. It's the violet, ultraviolet. Scarlet is literally just another word for, like, just a tint of red, essentially, which fits with infrared. And their opposites, past future opposites. Now, Spikemuth Gym equals battling, and Rainbow represents all types together, which is the one we saw there. Now, if this has a connection or not, we'll have to wait and see. But for the most part, that's everything to do with Riddler Coup. And here is so far what everything that's been posted, right? All the shapes that we've seen so far have been these, right? We've got Lugia, we've got Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre. Now, what's going on here? Well, one side is almost square-shaped, the other side is pointy-shaped. So, does that have a connection here? I don't really know. But that's going to end that stuff. Let's move on to the next subject, which is this rumor that was sent to me by John. And let's take a look at this one. It's a pretty big one, so let's see what it's talking about. Now, he says, Scarvio preview. There are 2 professors, depending on the game version. Professor Azahar, Scarlet, and Professor Pansy for Violet. Give you your tutor Pokemon as a part of your initiation into the Academia de Aventura. The Scarlet path represents logic, and the Violet path represents emotion. Your rivals are Vivi and Carlos, but you will also battle the mysterious PSI, which, okay. The villainous team is the Flood Gang, that just sounds bullshit, who believe that Torno region, actually it's a good name though, the Torno region, Kanto, Torno, Galar, okay, yeah. Either way, will face a world-ending calamity. They want to use the shrinking power of Pokemon to fit everyone on a long ship that will fly them to the moon. That just sounds like something from an NFT scam. That just sounds like something out of an NFT scam. I'm sorry, but what? And then he says the hidden type is a new dynamic that allows Pokemon to change types. This is determined by what Pokemon you're currently present in your party. Your benched Pokemon will lend their courage to the Pokemon in battle. That does sound like some kind of stuff Pokemon would do. Changing their type to that of the support Pokemon. If either Pokemon is dual typed, you can choose which one of the 2 types to transform into. You can even remove types by linking 2 Pokemon of the same type. But this won't work if the battling Pokemon has only 1 type. Okay. The support Pokemon's aura will change the appearance of the battling Pokemon. Some changes are quite dramatic. Pikachu, when it gains the steel typing, will turn into a computer mouse. Rock type Tauros is a cave painting. That's crazy. Some new Pokemon are regional evolutions like Aerodisc, Tornonian Vanillite, geez, looks like the burnt cream. Furlong and Janetta are cat-like Pokemon that drop from trees. You'll have to dodge them by observing their shadows. Urchinda is a Pokemon that curls up into a spiky mace and clings to a wall when afraid. There is an in-game calendar system. There are 5 days: Argent, Jules, Morado, Azur, and Verde. The people of Torno have regular schedules depending on the week. Between the storyline battles against Maestros, you can complete side quests in free time events. Your daily actions will be certified by your school, and eventually you will pass up through the ranks. Okay, this sounds about right, okay? Now, when you upgrade your school crest, you will gain access to ride Pokemon. The Torno region is fully open world through some traversal. Some traversal will be impossible without the proper ride Pokemon. Okay, so it's basically like kind of similar to Legends Arceus, but not, according to this guy. Azuraka will ferry you across long distances. Sometimes Pokemon will enter the Instinct mode, which increases the damage output but increases the damage taken. There are 5 Maestros to defeat, 1 for each day: Gina, Akoko, Plum, Gourmand, and Jade. Each carries a Pokemon familiar that must be first subdued. The Maestros can be beaten in any order, save for the first and last. Then Grazarase is the main legendary, a wicked mech with the power to create vast deserts. The cover legendary is either a red serpent devouring a crystal ball or a purple serpent covered in ivy vines. Oh, really? And then he says, Sprigatito grass is going to evolve into Persegato, which is grass as well, and Zagatote, which is grass dark. Fuecoco evolves into Rokojao, which is fire as well, and then Phantasmal, which is Fire Ghost, and Quaxley evolves into Seabird, which is water, and Capsule Lake, which is water fighting, which I don't know about those names, my G, I don't know about that one. That does just not sound realistic, I'm going to be honest. But the whole rumor, I'm going to be giving you guys my like, you know, what realism is, like, how likely is this from a 0 to 10, which is what we're going to do now from now on, for these ones. And you guys can comment down below. Out of a 0 to 10 scale, what would you think of the realism of this actual post? I'm giving this one a solid 2, okay? Which actually is pretty high. Trust me. A 0 or a 1 is horrible. This I give a 2 because some of the aspects of this does seem a bit realistic. Some of the parts of it, like ride Pokemon being unlockable in certain areas, not being accessible without those ride Pokemon, because that's a good way for them to roadblock you without really roadblocking you. Because it's like, hey, you know, we're not roadblocking you. You have the freedom to explore all this. But you see that mountain right there? You can't get to that yet. You got to do this first. You know, in one way, I feel like that's realistic. But everything else, I'm giving this a solid 2. What do you guys think? Do you give this a 5, a 3, a 7? Do you think this is super realistic? Because if something feels more realistic, I give it a 5 more often. And if it's really realistic, like if it's definitely going to happen, like for example, Riddler Coup stuff, then I give it a 9, 8, or a 7 or something. But this I would say is a low spec. But that's not the final thing. We have this also. So this guy posted saying, looked at Amazon pre-order status. It shows that the games will be released on the last day of 2022. They likely won't make the holiday season. This is not true. I just want anybody, if you see this, please listen. If you see this image floating around on the internet, it's a real image, but it doesn't mean shit, okay? This is a default date, okay? When Amazon or any retailer doesn't know the date of an actual game's release, when they haven't been given that information by the actual people who make these games, because, you know, you see this right here, the Pokemon Violet Nintendo Switch post right here. This is just made by Amazon, like, almost automatically. It's just there. They create it. They don't have any information. They just made it because they know that people will want it, so they can already have it ready there for people to put in their wish lists and etc. You know what I mean? So this doesn't mean anything, okay? This doesn't mean anything. Nintendo puts this up. It's just, you know, or they put it up Amazon. It's just temporary. And December 31st is the last day of the year. Of course, that's going to be their default date because they don't know when it's coming out this year. They literally don't know. Like, they can't know because that's not even public information yet. And if they put it out and gave it to Amazon or gave it to Walmart or Target or Media Mart, whatever, you know, whatever shop you're going to, then the date wouldn't be a secret anymore, and that we would know the release date. But they haven't given it to anyone, not even these stores yet. So ignore this, please. Just ignore this. And if you see this, just don't pay attention to it because it doesn't mean shit, okay? I've seen every single year this happens. I swear to God, every single year. I've seen this happen so many times. People start freaking out. Oh my God, the game is delayed. Which, listen, I'm not saying it can't happen, but they will announce it. The same way they announced it with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is delayed until next year. But you know what they did? They announced it. They told us it's delayed. This shit doesn't mean anything. This is just a default. This is literally a default template post that they put up on Amazon and other stores. I mean, shit, if you go to, like, you know, I don't know, Walmart or whatever, if you go, like, to even Swedish stores online and shit, whatever, it will all pretty much be set to the same because they don't know the release date. They just know it's coming out sometime this year, but they can't put a date on it, so they just put the default, which is the last day of the year because that's the easiest way to do it. So just keep that in mind. Just please remember that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. As I mentioned before, go over to my Twitter, follow it. It's at RuffleRowlet over on Twitter. Go give it a follow and reply to this tweet because I want to hear your guys' features, IDs, stuff you really want to see in Scarlet and Violet. I want to make a video about some of these, like, awesome things you guys want to see in these games and if they're likely to happen or not. So just let me know. Go and, you know, leave a reply, give a follow if you want to as well, and that's about it. Thank you for watching. This is RuffleRowlet. See you next time. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.